Imagine walking into class the day of your test, and instead of panicking, you might forget some information or feeling stressed out. You remember that you're allowed to bring and use your notes that you've been taking throughout the unit. This strategy isn't about making tests or quizzes easier for students, but simply making them smarter and more realistic. Having open note tests isn't a way for students to cheat, but instead using a tool that we worked hard to create and still takes knowledge and practical thinking. As you may know, in the real world, we will have so many resources to get information quickly, and this will only keep getting easier and easier as the years go on. This is why schools should consider having open note tests as a way for students to learn how to think and not how to memorize. First, according to Becca from the website Science Lessons That Rock, she explains that students only retain 30 to 40% of information they see and or hear. This leaves 60 to 70% of information to be forgotten, or you may be more familiar with the phrase in one ear and out the other. Allowing students to take their own notes on lectures that are taught is a good way for us to learn how to take well-written notes on the lectures that are taught, and a good way for us to be creative and have fun with note-taking. And lastly, it helps us prepare for college by already being able to take good notes. Open note tests allow us as the students to actually understand and engage with what is being taught, instead of studying 5 minutes before the test or staying up super late to cram it all in the night before. Students will be more willing to focus and understand the information, as well as writing it down in a way where they will remember what is being taught. Next, having open note tests will reduce stress and anxiety, which is a common struggle between the student and successful test taking. According to Judy Kleinmeyer, who wrote, quote unquote, "Students are under pressure to perform. Many of them experience stress on a regular basis, and that not only gets worse when they have to take a test. If tests were open book, that would reduce not eliminate the stress, and it may even allow them to get more sleep the night before a test, which, according to everything I've ever read, would help them perform better on the actual test. I can firsthand express how difficult it is to fall asleep the night before you have a big test the next day, especially if you feel unprepared. Even students who are prepared and have studied still experience stress before tests, which is harmful to the body and cause you to do worse on the test. This is why allowing the use of open notes helps the test to feel less intimidating and you to feel more confident. Another point to consider is the fact that students might show up or be more willing to participate in classroom activities if they felt there was a chance they could actually do well on the test or quiz. As a student myself, if I know that I can use notes on my next test, then I'm going to see more value in showing up to class, participating in the activities, and turning in my work, instead of dreading going to class because I know I will have to sit through another hour of taking notes that I'm not going to remember. I will see it as an opportunity to write down the useful information that I know I will be able to use on the test. This helps students stay motivated, want to learn, and best yet, actually pass the class. Although some may have difficulty understanding all of this, and use the counter arguments such as some students aren't good note takers, or students will take too long to take their tests. I have taken this into consideration and do agree that some students have better note-taking skills than others. This could be used as a chance to learn. Note-taking is essential whether you use it in college, at home, or in your future careers. Taking notes will always be necessary, and taking good notes will be extremely beneficial. Another rebuttal to this counter argument is the fact that some students have just never been taught how to take good notes or have never cared enough to take them because they aren't useful. We can eliminate this by learning the basics of note-taking as soon as kindergarten or at the elementary level. In conclusion, open note test taking better aligns with real-life scenarios, reducing stress and anxiety and participation within the classroom. It helps students focus and have a better understanding of what they are learning rather than memorization. So if you're a teacher, I encourage you to consider this approach and recognize how it could affect your classroom. Thank you for listening.